You feel lost right now, not just confused as if the map you were using no longer applies to where you're standing. The things that used to make sense, your goals, your relationships, your routine, have all started to feel foreign. And the scarier part, you can't explain it to anyone, because from the outside, your life might still look intact. You still show up, still smile, still try to keep it all together, but internally, there's a storm, a quiet, constant ache that whispers, something's changing, and you don't know who you're becoming. That's not failure, that's not weakness, that's not the enemy attacking you. That is God rewiring you. See, transformation doesn't always come wrapped in clarity. It doesn't start with a breakthrough moment that makes you leap out of bed with fresh direction. Sometimes it starts with It starts when what used to satisfy you begins to feel shallow, when conversations that once felt fun now seem empty, when the goals you were chasing no longer feel aligned with your soul. You're not lazy, you're not broken. What you're re-feeling is the tension of outgrowing your old identity while not yet fitting into your new one. This is a spiritual construction zone. God is tearing down old mindsets, removing expired attachments, pruning relationships, and breaking down false confidence. He's not punishing you, he's purifying you. But purification is rarely pleasant. You feel lost because you can see the new version of you yet hand. The old version has already expired. You can't go back to who you were, but the new you hasn't fully been revealed yet. This is where most people break. This is where they panic. They try to force the old life to feel alive again. They chase relationships that no longer honor their growth. They run back to habits that gave them quick comfort. They pretend the spiritual discomfort isn't real. They'd rather numb than evolve. And they pay for it not with one big disaster but with quiet regret. They know they missed the deeper call. They know they chose familiarity over purpose. But not you, not this time. You were brought into this season because there is something inside you God wants to build, and a capacity you didn't even know you had. And to access it, He had to interrupt your rhythm. He had to pull you off the path that looked right, but would have led you in circles. He had to strip away your need for approval, success, routine, so that what's true could finally rise. That's why you don't feel like yourself, because you're not supposed to. You've been upgraded internally, but your mind is still running the old software. Think about it. What happens when you update your phone's operating system, but you try to run old apps that aren't compatible anymore? The system slows down. Things glitch. It feels broken, but it's not. The hardware just needs new code to match the new function. And that's what's happening in you. The desires you used to chase, outdated. The habits that once calmed you, no longer effective. The people who used to understand you can't hear you now. It's because God isn't building your next level on public approval. He is building it on internal alignment. That means He'll remove what's distracting you from His voice, even if it hurts. He'll cut ties you wouldn't cut yourself. He'll push you out of rooms where your name used to be celebrated because you were shrinking to stay accepted. And the moment you start to feel lonely, misunderstood, invisible, that's the moment you're being refined, not overlooked. Real transformation isn't loud. It's often quiet, isolated, and misunderstood. The kind of growth God is developing in you doesn't announce itself with applause. It announces itself with pressure, confusion, silence, stillness. You're not broken. You're being emptied so that you can be rebuilt. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's but here's the truth no one tells you. Comfort is often the enemy of calling. People crave peace, but forget that peace doesn't always come from what is easy. It comes from alignment, from integrity, from being who you were actually designed to be, not just who people expected you to be. And the process of becoming that person, it will wreck your ego before it resurrects your purpose. You might be waking up later, not responding to messages, avoiding certain people, losing interest in things you once chased. That's not depression. That's your soul rejecting anything fake. Your body isn't shutting down, it's trying to tell you something. It's saying, we don't belong there anymore. This rewiring isn't just emotional, it's spiritual renovation. God is shifting your capacity to carry the weight of what He is about to bring into your life. You're being rewired for strength, for discernment, for clarity, for emotional independence, for higher level love. But here's what most people miss. Before God blesses you publicly, He disciplines you privately. You will lose what you were never meant to depend on. You will sit in rooms that feel too quiet. You will feel like you're falling behind while everyone else is getting ahead. And just when you think He's forgotten you, that's when the doors start opening. But you won't walk through them the same. You'll be different. You'll walk through as someone who no longer needs validation to move. Someone who doesn't chase energy that isn't reciprocal. Someone who's grounded, refined, silent, and dangerous in the best way possible. Because when God finishes rewiring someone, they no longer beg, they attract. They no longer fear rejection. They understand redirection. They no longer settle. They recognize their worth and they protect it. So if you feel lost right now, it's not the end of your story. It's the undoing before the unveiling. It's the breaking before the breakthrough. Don't panic, don't run, and whatever you do, don't go back to who you were just to feel safe again. That version of you can't go where God is trying to take you. This isn't a detour, it's preparation. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. When God is rewiring you, He often withdraws clarity to increase trust. That urge you feel to figure it all out right now, that's your ego, not your spirit. Let it go. You don't need all the answers today. You need alignment, not certainty. Peace doesn't always come from knowing what's next. It often comes from surrendering what's not meant to come with you. So instead of demanding answers, ask God this: what are you trying to remove from me in this silence? Because in that silence, He's pruning. He's showing you that you can be stable without affirmation. He's teaching you that peace is something you cultivate, not something you chase. You're not always going to feel spiritual. You're not always going to feel strong. But rewiring isn't about emotion. If you wait to feel motivated to pray or read or show up for your purpose, you'll keep shrinking. But when you choose obedience over emotion, even when you're tired, even when you feel unseen, that's when the rewiring locks in. Because you're showing God, even when I don't feel you, I trust you. Even when the path isn't clear, I'll still walk. Even when nothing's changing around me, I'll keep becoming who you're calling me to be. That kind of obedience, that gets God's attention. Because rewiring requires isolation, not to punish you, but to protect the transformation. Some people can't come with you, not because they're bad, but because they were only assigned to a former version of you. If they're constantly pulling you back into old habits, old patterns, or old conversations, you owe it to your future to release them. God isn't elevating your life so you can go back to who made you feel comfortable. He's building something in you that requires clean space, quiet time, and spiritual protection. This is your cocoon phase, and a butterfly can become what it was born to be if it is constantly entertaining caterpillar conversations. Let go of who claps, let go of who leaves, let go of who doesn't understand. That version of you that needed applause, he's gone. Now, you move because it's aligned. Now, you speak because it's true. Now, you walk into rooms with calm power, not to prove anything, but because you've already been approved by God. Detachment isn't apathy, it's power. It's knowing you're chosen, whether anyone validates it or not. It's understanding your identity is built on the unchangeable, not the opinions of the temporary. Here's the secret. You don't have to announce your rewiring. You don't have to explain your silence, your shift, or your solitude. Let people misunderstand you. Let them think you're distant. Let them gossip about your disconnection. Your growth doesn't need their permission. In fact, real power develops in private. And when you emerge from this, you'll walk differently. You'll speak with weight. You'll carry something that makes people pause, not because you're flashy, but because you're anchored. And when they finally ask, "Where have you been?" you'll look them in the eye and say, "I was being rewired by God." So if you feel lost, you're not broken. You're becoming. You're not behind. You're being rebuilt, and you're not alone. You're being led. Let the old fall apart. Let God finish what He started. And when it is time, step into the room as the version He designed you to be all along.